Hello and welcome everybody. My name is Rae Bronenkant and I am here at the Audubon Center for my second night of observations at the road crossings. If you listen really carefully, you can hear the peepers at Peeper Pond. We're going to stop at Peeper Pond at the end of the night, but there's also a woodcock that's doing its mating call and dance behind me, which is definitely a sign of spring. So let's get started. So this is our first amphibian of the night. It is the wood frog. You can tell because it's got that mask on its face. And so we're going to help move it across the road to where Peeper Pond is. Okay, so we just moved our first amphibian of the night across the road, but we're now finding our first dead amphibian of the night. So as we're walking our route, we want to be counting all dead and alive amphibians because we're recording this data to show how many cars are going by as well as the impact of the cars on the amphibians. So right here we've got a peeper, and so we're going to count this, and we're also going to move it off the road because we want to make sure that we're not double counting it on our way back. Alright, so we've got our second amphibian of the night. Again, another wood frog. So this one is much darker than the other one. I'll bring it up close so you can see it. So wood frogs turn this awesome red color when they're ready for mating, and so this is an example of that awesome darker color. And so this is one cold frog, and you can actually see their these are their air sacs where they make noise. So you think of a frog ribbiting from underneath their tongue, or underneath their chin, but they are actually have those air sacs on the sides of their body. And so I will move this guy across the road to a safe spot. So the fun of being out at night is you get to hear the nightlife of Vermont. I know this isn't a video of anything, but we're hearing this sound in the distance that I think might be a fox. But last time I was out, I heard those owls. Not anymore. Another sign of spring, coltsfoot. If you mash it up and boil it, you can turn it into green dye to dye your eggs if you celebrate Easter. So here we are, and there are actually 1, 2, and 3 eastern newts that are dead here. So I'm going to move them across the road and count them there, and so that we don't double count them. So we're seeing more dead than alive at this point. So we've got our first car of the survey. Oh, pulling into Audubon. Okay, so we found a spotted salamander here on the boardwalk right behind Peeper Pond. We veered off of the road because actually there's a lot of people out tonight, so we wanted to stay away from everybody. And I wanted to see if there were any eggs in the pond, but we didn't even make it to the pond before finding this guy. I'm obviously not going to move them because they are doing their own thing and living their dream. But it's like the megafauna of the amphibian world. So this is what everybody loves to find, and they really are magical, beautiful creatures. So a little bit about amphibians. Amphibians breathe through their skin, so we have to be really careful when we're moving them because if we're touching individuals, we could transfer disease between them. But we also could have soap or lotion or anything on our hands that could harm them. And the reason why they're out and about at nighttime is because they are migrating to the ponds. So the mole salamanders and most of the frogs spend their time in the woods, and then they're going to ponds where they can lay their eggs. So Peeper Pond, which you can hear, I'll be quiet, you can hear Verbena too, is a fishless pond. So there aren't fish in there, which is great because when they're laying their eggs can be a great food source for fish. So it's fishless water sources give them the ability to lay eggs without having them be eaten. And so this salamander is making its way to the pond, and so we're going to make our way to the pond too and try to see if we can sneak up on some salamanders. So when I go to the pond, I'm going to actually use the red light on my headlamp, and the reason why I'm going to use that is because they're sensitive to light. They're mole salamanders. They live underground. So if I stop using my if I start using my white light, what will happen is they'll all just hide in the ground, in the mud in the pond. So I'm going to sneak up on them with my red light, and hopefully we'll get to see them mating, which would be really awesome. So we're at Peeper Pond. We can hear the wood frogs calling, the barred owls calling, and obviously the peepers, living the dream. Ain't nothing better than a salamander smile.